Welcome to lesson 13 of my Erlang tutorial. In this part, I will be talking about BIFs. What are BIFs? Where to find the list of all the BIFs, and I will demonstrate a couple of examples in the Erlang shell. So let's start. So what is BIF? BIF is basically a built-in function. So this is the function which is built into the language. And most of BIFs are implemented. Um, some of BIFs are implemented in Erlang, but most of them are implemented in Erlang virtual machine. So this is very important, and BIFs are, this is the most important functions, or the primitive functions. These functions are built as a primitives in Erlang virtual machine. So most of the BIFs, or all the BIFs, are located in module called Erlang, and most of them, most useful, are auto-imported, which means you don't need to import this module, or you don't need to basically refer to Erlang module before you call this BIF, because these BIFs are imported already as a part of language. So BIFs, basically the list of all built-in functions can be found under this link. So I encourage you to go there and have a look at the list. In this video, I will show just a couple of them to demonstrate how they work. Throughout this tutorial, I will be using, or I was already using, some BIFs. If you remember, I was using self to get the process ID of the sender. I also was using the length, which checks the list length. So let's go now to the Erlang tutorial, Erlang shell, sorry, and let's call some BIFs. So for example, if I will type something like this, date, of course, it will give me the current date as a tuple. I can do similar thing with time to get the current time. It's my time currently, 11:34. I can, as I mentioned, there is also BIF call self, which returns the process ID. And as you can see, I didn't have to refer to Erlang module. I didn't have to write something like this, even though it probably will work. I didn't have to import or write this module name, because this, for example, date is auto-imported, as I mentioned. So what other BIF we have? We can, for example, very useful for guards, which I will be discussing in the next video, is, for example, check if the term is a tuple. So I'm passing some term. For example, in this case, I want to get the false result because this is a string. This term is basically a string, so I got the false result when I'm calling the built-in function is tuple. But if I would call it with, for example, 1, 2, 3 as a tuple, then I would get true, because basically this term is tuple. Of course, very important built-in function is to check length of the list, and it will give me the length of the list and a couple of others. So as I mentioned, I encourage you to go to this reference manual and look at all the BIFs and get familiar with them. So this is it about this part. Thanks for listening. Next time I will be talking about guards in Erlang. Very useful concept. Stay tuned and cheers.